Hey everybody, my name is Anton, and in this episode of CineDiary, as always, I continue analyzing lighting setups and sharing tips and tricks I learned from my shooting gigs. But before we dive into behind-the-scenes pictures of lighting setups and break them down, please bear in mind that every DP will approach the same director's treatment very differently, and there are infinite number of creative possibilities that exist. So the best takeaway from this video would be to see an example, analyze it, implement and play with the scheme in your own shoots. So with that in mind, let's get started. Today in the episode we have a big breakdown of part of promotional video I shot for cover band recently. It's a 1-minute video on a famous GreenDay song Boulevard of Broken Dreams, which has taken place in 4 different locations in one big studio space. So let's look at the end result and then we will return and break it down.
I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's come to me and I walk alone. I walk the Century Street on the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. My shadow's only one that walk beside me. My shadow holds all the scenes that we did. Sometimes I wish someone out there will fight me. This ain't I walk alone.
Okay, we are back, and that's how our studio space looked like on a scout. I strongly suggest location scouting each time, even if you have photos of the place, to eliminate a good load of surprises on a shooting day. It was quite a challenging shoot since we had very limited budget, but more importantly only 4 hours for the whole lighting and filming work. I used my iPhone to take photos, did my homework, prepared and drew lighting diagrams. With a small crew of 4 people including myself, limited time, pre-production is everything. On a tech side, we filmed with Blackmagic Ursa Mini 4.6K in 3:1 compressed RAW with some young Cine Prime lenses 16, 24 and 35mm. Mostly handheld, we also used a nice fast setup cheap dolly, basically a board with wheels. I was standing on it, holding camera in my hands. This added some nice movement we wanted and kept handheld field at the same time. I used a tripod only once for an opening shot. As a creative solution, I decided to shoot the whole band performing in one location and separate each band member to individual vignettes with different lighting and surroundings to accent loneliness of their mind. We were also shooting other songs that day, so choosing lighting fixtures was really a balance between versatility and importance in each particular shot. That's again where careful planning is the name of the game. We started to set up a wide shot of band playing, and I used 2 1-key airy Fresnels with full diffusion from camera right for lighting guitarists and bass player. I wanted deep shadows and high key-to-fill ratio lighting, so side Fresnels was the best way to do this. We utilized a flag to cut the light from the reflective floor and prevent it from shining. Good smoke machine was also an important part there, setting mood and lifting ambient feel levels. The thing you have to watch for is the right amount of smoke and evenness of its spreading. We hung 2 150-watt bare bulbs on long stingers on a background cage as our practicals. I bought them in a nearest household shop and painted them in red, nice for setting mood. We also used another 100-watt practical domestic lamp we had. It gave us reflections on the drums, as well as brought up some levels on the drummer. To supplement our red practicals, I set one 650-watt Fresnel with red gel on the floor, pointing onto background camera right. It gave a feel that these 150-watt bulbs in a shot are a bit stronger and added nice reflections on a barrel and tubes frame right. The last stroke we did was adding another airy 650 with blue gel on the left side to light old bike. We cut out the spillage from it with black foam core so it casted the light only to the bike, and we also have a nice color contrast there. That was all for the first setup with the whole band. We shot at base ISO 800, but in retrospect, given the Ursa isn't a low light camera, I'd prefer being able to have ISO at 400 here, to win one stop noise-free in shadows. To achieve that, we needed to add ambient fill and increase the power of our lights correspondingly to keep ratios consistent, so 1K would become 2K and so on. That's a thing to keep in mind when you come from shooting on A7S, which is a low light beast. Don't forget to give your shadows some light with these cameras, because with overall lighting ratios preserved, you can always lower levels up to 2 stops in post and clean your shadows. Anyway, it turned out quite good, and we were ready to shuffle to individual vignettes. The first one was planned as a big empty walled space with a man standing in front of a tall window accentuating solitude mood. I started by shining our two 1K RE Fresnels and 650 for the lower part through the window. Ideally we would have to use one 4K here to have one big source, but as I said before, we needed 1Ks for other shots that day. I'd also prefer to have 6x6 diffusion here. For ambient fill, we used 4x4 Kino with only 2 tubes on, standing just off the camera left. I wanted it to be as sourceless as possible and pointed it a bit to the ceiling. The last touch here was adding 150-watt Dedolight with full stop diffusion to add a smidge of exposure on the talent. And after several takes, we were ready to move on. The second individual vignette was for the drummer, and we had a nice wall with pipes for the background. I wanted a toppy lighting for the wall to emphasize the surface, so I set two 4x4 Kinos just off the frame edges, left and right, on high C stands with grids attached. I also wished this background light to be greenish, like cheap fluorescents, and we gelled Kinos with moss green filters. For the talent, I set two 650-watt Fresnels as rim lights on both sides with barn doors closed to leave just slashes of light on his cheeks. It wasn't enough space to spread 650s farther away, so we had to place them near Kinos and use flags to prevent spillage of light onto background. I wanted his face to be in darkness. I didn't use any front light, and I set two polyboards, black sides to him to suck up the light from 650s and not allow it to bounce back. And of course my favorite Dedolight was used here from the left side to add some light to drum cymbals. That was our setup for the drummer shot. It went pretty nicely, and in the shortage of time, with little fiddling and smoke, we also used it to grab some electric guitar close-ups. With all this fun, we had about 40 minutes to light and shoot the last planned scene, the scene with the bass player. There was a fake wall that could be moved, with giant fan, an amazing grid, and I planned to shoot through it, having a bass player behind the wall. We smoked heavily to hide the background, and used blue gel on 650 on the right to light the smoke. I wanted to emphasize grid and a fan, so I used 150-watt Dedo with red gel from the left side, placed so to cast sliding edged light to the grid. For the talent, I used 4x4 Kino with just 2 lamps hiding behind the wall on the right. Having a pre-planned lighting schemes enables you to work very fast. Okay friends, that's how we lit and shot this. It was a big challenging project for me, and I hope this episode was interesting and useful to you. If so, don't hesitate to drop a like button. I'll continue sharing my experience in a series of filmmaking and lighting videos called CineDiary, so stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, activate notifications to be informed where the new episode comes. Check out my channel for previous episodes of CineDiary, and of course I'll be happy to meet you in comment section below. My name is Anton. See you later.